Hey everyone, hope you're well. As you know, I have talked again and again and again about how the Oakland Athletics planned ballpark at Howard Terminal is behind schedule and not done properly, and by a city of Oakland staff that time and again has proven it really doesn't understand what it is doing. I have a plan to put Howard Terminal back on track. A plan to fast track Howard Terminal. That's right, fast track Howard Terminal. And I'm reciting that plan to you right here, right now. Here's my plan to fast track Howard Terminal. It's in text below, but I'm presenting it to you now verbally so I can explain why why the points are there. First of all, number one is calculate the total value of community benefits. It's important because, as I've heard from any number of people involved with the community benefits formation process and from the community benefits documents themselves, there is no one number that has emerged from calculating community benefits. I'll take all responses and questions when I'm done. When I'm done. There has been I repeat, no estimate. What is it? 200 million, 300 million, 400 million? Regardless of the number, it's not there. That needs to be straightened out because SB 293 Skinner allows for the identification, it really calls for the identification of projects of what are deemed community-wide significance. And I might add that SB 293 Skinner is not the only type of legislation regarding enhanced infrastructure financing districts that allows that. They all do. Going all the way back to the father of these types of legislation, SB 628 bill. That was in 2015 when then California Governor Jerry Brown signed it into law on the 14th of September of that year. Now, these folks have spent the better part of well over a year working on it. The legislation, SB 293 Skinner in this case, because it's custom designed to establish an enhanced infrastructure financing district at Howard Terminal, have not produced an estimate of what those benefits are, which could be then said to be or consist of projects of community-wide significance. So the needs of the community were not addressed, even though SB 293 Skinner and any version of enhanced infrastructure financing district legislation you choose to use calls for it. Those needs were ignored. And hey, the community didn't know it. And the city didn't bother to investigate it. In fact, the city of Oakland has spent 3 years hiding from you and me what they believe the actual tax increment financing revenue is and why. Why? Open for anybody to see and critique. They haven't done that. I tried to explain what tax increment financing was to the attendees of Oakland City Council District 2 Nikki Fortunato Bass Town Hall held on the 20th of November 2019. And Carl Chan, who was once the head of Chinatown Chamber of Commerce, specifically did not want me to, and neither did the city administration representatives who were there. When I asked why, they said, Zenny, one of them said to me, Zenny, that's a discussion for lunch. How can hiding information from the public be something plausible and explainable in a discussion for lunch? I'll never know. We never had the lunch. So it's important to get that cost out of the way, to put a price tag on these items that we know, particularly since the passage of AB 464 Mullen, which now makes tax increment financing revenue from an enhanced infrastructure financing district usable to help businesses recover from the pandemic. Okay? That was done a year ago. So we really need to get that number out of the way. That's number one. Number two, tax increment financing revenue calculated in bond issue design project started and due by October 1st. That's the deadline. We model the bond issue, we determine the tax increment revenue, and we come up with the structure of that bond issue by the 1st. This is not a hard thing to do. I've heard city staff members, the project manager said at one point, we have to wait for TIF to grow, not to use it. No, you don't. If you know how to model your bond issue, you don't have to. What I mean by modeling your bond issue, making projections of tax increment financing revenues. We know that the average rate of growth of assessed value in Jack London Square area has been 6.3%. So we can model a bond issue around an expected 4% rate of growth. Half that the county can control. What do I mean? They can increase the assessed value by 2% annually. These are knowns. But what these folks do is they literally get away with murder in the way of not doing work, okay? By actually calculating it. This is a matter of risk, but it is a controllable risk. Hey, look, if for whatever reason, over that course of time, the revenue didn't come in, you could always extend the collection period. That's what the district could do. Note I said the district, not the city. The city bonds are not a discussion here. That's not necessary, in spite of the fact that the Oakland City Council seems to think it is. It's not. That's number two. Number three, the City of Oakland approved Howard Terminal Project and Public Financing Authority. That's number three. Because as I said before, if you do the Public Financing Authority, that takes the project into a period of sunshine where you, the public, can come to meetings. We would meet once a month, but over this fast track period, we're going to have to meet twice a month. And you can ask questions during the open forum. You can present your business ideas. It would be truly public. Right now, Howard Terminal is not a truly public endeavor. Why? Howard Terminal is not a truly public endeavor because it doesn't have a sunshine component where you can go and ask questions and find out where things are. One county supervisor told me today that they hadn't heard from county staff about Howard Terminal in over a month. Okay? Over a month. That's criminal, folks, and you allow that. Okay? They're going about your business, their business, and they have no vessel, no organizational vessel where you can find out information. If you want an update regarding Howard Terminal, and you go online, do you know what the latest date of any material regarding update is? It's the 25th of February of this year. Today is the 27th of July. So that is absolutely criminal. And yet you allow it. And you allow it because, understandably, you don't know how to fix it, or I do. That's why I'm making this video. I know how to fix this. The mayor knows I know how to fix it. All right? So we need that public we will call it the Howard Terminal Public Financing Authority. That's what and for those of you who are saying, well, hey, what about the bond issue and is it ready? My response basically is simply that we're altering, if you will, we're altering the process. We're making the authority first so we have that deliberative body so we can bring sunshine to the project. Oh, and by the way, guess what? We will already have the component to do the bond issue and forming the authority, right? The mayor currently wants to push that way back into next year sometime. She doesn't know when, because next year she's not going to be around. Think about it, all right? That's number three. Again, City of Oakland approved Howard Terminal Project and Public Financing Authority, okay? That's number three. And we would do that by the deadline for that in total would be the 31st of October. Now, that gets number 4. Authority has 2 public meetings in September to get project updates. All right? During that time, and then also set for the future where we're going to be going and establish those dates and with hard stops. Number 5, approve the Enhanced Infrastructure Financing District. We will do that through the authority. Staff will write infrastructure financing plan. That will be due October 31st. All right. Number 6, we present a fast track schedule of due dates with the objective of October 31st. Okay. Number 7, any needed public organization approval that can be moved up is. So if we need to meet with the State Lands Commission, and we do, we simply go to the State Lands Commission, we ask for a special session, fast track for us to move up. Okay? That would be true for any other organization where there's unfinished business. Doesn't matter if it's planning or design review or the Port of Oakland. The Port of Oakland should not have as the final meeting for approval next year, as the mayor implied in her interview with me. All of this should be done now, yesterday. We have to have a pronto, if you want to say it in French, tout de suite attitude regarding what we're doing. Not a typically Oakland, I'm not going to follow your deadline, I'm too important, laissez-faire approach that we're known for. That's why nothing gets done. Okay? Now, number 8, that was number 7. Number 8, city spending on authority will be reimbursed by future tax increment financing revenue to be drawn during the pay-go period. So the way I see the bond issue, we will need a 2-year pay-go period. So we might as well just simply establish the zone now. This being, of course, 2022, 2023, 2024. We could realize a pretty good and, for sizable place by the 5th year of the pay-go period. You can use part of that for administrative cost. What I want to do is I want to go to the taxing agencies and say, hey, can we have your base year assessed value? See, normally they'll take that, right? But what I want to do, and there's nothing in the law that says I can't negotiate it, all right? There's nothing in the law that says I cannot negotiate for the taxing agencies to give us all of their revenue, base year. The impact of that is enormous. Like 20 million off the top, first, right out, okay? That's a big difference when you are looking at a bond issue that you desire that's going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 800 million or north of that, or billion. So we need to do that. We need that flexibility. And what I would do is I would appeal to the Republican base, which is far more friendly to the idea of revenue flexibility than, my party is. So get them to go for it. So we have them out of the way as opposition. And then we appeal to the Democrats who have voted legislation like SB 293 Skinner into law to simply finish the deal, right? And say, okay, unanimously pass this adjustment. Because that's what it'd be, an adjustment, a more flexible deal-making adjustment. Now, which my sell point would be to the taxing agencies, we can do more for you up front. Bart, we can do more for you up front. Special projects, you have a project that we can consider, one of community-wide significance, let us help you. Give us your money, right? Quid pro quo. All right. Number 9, the authority new website would be launched before the first meeting and updated daily when necessary. You're not going to get this situation like we have right now, where you go online, you go to the city's website, and it's telling you that the latest update for Howard Terminal is the 25th of February of 2022. Okay? So there's my pitch, all right? Tell them if they can't do it, hire me. I know how to do it. I don't care what anyone says. There is a difference between people who have a job and people who want to do a job. All right? I can do that job better. I can fast track it. I can get it out of the malaise it's in, and we can update everyone that needs to be updated on a regular basis. How is it for a county supervisor? All right? Hey, Eric says, Zinni, is there anything the governor can do like Sandoval did in Nevada? Yeah, in fact, that's a great question, actually. If you're wondering, great Nevada Governor Brian Sandoval created the Southern Nevada Tourism and Infrastructure Committee, which then became the Southern Nevada Tourism and Infrastructure Act. That committee and the legislation that it wrote gave birth to what is now called Allegiant Stadium, okay? And as far as Allegiant Stadium is concerned, the Las Vegas Stadium Authority also came out of that same act. So in context, what Governor Newsom can do is simply advocate for the early and timely completion of Howard Terminal from his bully pulpit. That would speak volumes for the governor to do that, to say, this is a project of statewide significance. Maintaining the athletics and Major League Baseball in Northern California is of extreme importance. After all, we need a foil for the Giants. Get some laughs out of that. And I'm calling for the city of Oakland to establish the Public Financing Authority, and I'm calling for all involved agencies and organizations to work with them to fast track Howard Terminal in any way that they can. Gavin making that statement would send a powerful signal, okay? That's the first thing Gavin can and should do on his own. Not wait for the mayor, because we're looking at turnover, but setting a political stake in the ground and saying, all right, guess what? You may be changing mayors, but I'm going to be governor. That's already a foregone conclusion, okay? So Gavin can do that to answer your question. But we need people involved in this who have a passion for it, who want the public to know what's happening, who want to complete it, and who are not grousing about, well, it's not at the Coliseum, so I don't want to get involved. You know, that ship sailed. If you want something done at the Coliseum, why not help Ray Bobbitt get NFL football back there? Why not help Ray Bobbitt and Rebecca Kaplan establish a WNBA team? Why not work on a plan to rebuild and reestablish the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum complex, if we're still going to call it that, as a place for up to 200 sports events with a hotel complex plus housing and affordable housing and extremely affordable housing, so that people can have of modest means can enjoy sports events there. My point is, rather than this oh so Oakland thing of trying to stop what somebody else is doing, do something yourself. Make that happen. The legislation to do all of this is there. But we have all of these people who call themselves activists, but have no interest in or love for running government, sticking their nose into these different projects and trying to upset them, but not doing any projects of their own. With a gigantic exception of those heroic people who have moved heaven and earth to get extremely affordable housing built, and also to have legally maintained homeless encampments, which really there shouldn't be no need for them. But guess what? The city allowing Governor Brown to get rid of redevelopment and then doing nothing to use enhanced infrastructure financing districts after redevelopment has caused this. That is a crime. I have screamed literally about how the city should be using enhanced infrastructure financing district legislation for 7 years. I've said it to council members, mayors. I've blogged about it. I've vlogged about it again and again and again. There's only one person who acted upon what I told him. That was Dave Cowell, the A's president. Don't get mad at him. Get mad at yourself. Okay? This city, Oakland, can be turned around. Right now, immediately, it can be done. We have to want to do it. Derek Sue says, I would like to see a new stadium in the downtown corridor built on top of Highway 980. Derek, regardless of what you want to see, that's one thing. Put it on a website, establish a vision for it, and then explain how it's going to cost. Eric says, activists are more part of the time, part of the problem than the solution. They are. And I hate to say that, but look, I'm staring the lion in the mouth and I'm saying, fine, you want to bite my head off? Go right ahead. But you guys haven't done anything. You've arguably made things worse, establishing an us versus them mentality. And now I'm talking about right-wing activists too, not just left-wing, both wings. Enough of this. You've taken the media gaze off of where it should be on how government isn't doing what it's supposed to do, make our lives better, and you put it on yourself with your marches and your rallies and your constant screaming at people and baying at the moon and all this jazz. Some activists in some areas have done so much damage that the ones who don't listen to them and want to get something done go to court, file lawsuits, and that's how they make change. That's how you make change. But this other way has not worked. And like a friend of mine used to say, when he came to visit me when I represented Oakland Mayor Hugh Harris as economic advisor, he would say, Zinni, Al Roca, God, I miss Al, would say, Zinni, if you like what you're getting, keep on doing what you're doing. Do you like what you're getting? That was his statement to me every single time we met on union issues that impacted the Latino community. Okay? So I ask you, do you like what you're getting? And if you don't, why are you allowing them to keep on doing what they're doing? All right. Subscribe to Zenny62 and please bookmark oaklandnewsnowblog.com. And remember, don't wait for the mayor's race. Tell Mayor Schaaf to have me handle that damn thing right now. See ya.